Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Care Admin Podcast, where we talk about everything residential care homes and what goes on behind the scenes. If you haven't listened to my last podcast, we talked about how to know when it's time for assisted living, the signs, the patterns, the stuff that families usually ignore until something happens. But today we're talking about what comes next, because knowing it's time, that's the first step. And the real overwhelm starts after that. Like, where do you begin? How do you choose the right place? Or how do you have that conversation? So, if you've already had that moment where you thought, okay, we need to do something, this episode is for you. So, you've accepted it, or at least you're starting to. And now your brain is spinning. You're Googling assisted living near me, you're reading reviews, asking friends, maybe even avoiding it altogether because it all feels like too much. And that's normal because no one teaches you how to do this. So let's simplify it. You don't need to have everything figured out today. You just need to take the next right step. Let's cut through the noise. When families start searching, they focus on how nice it is, how new it looks, and the price. But what actually matters are care, supervision, and staffing. So here are the real things you need to pay attention to. Staff presence. Are staff actually visible and engaged, or do you have to go looking for them? Resident condition. Look at the residents in the facility. Are they clean? Are they dressed and alert? That tells you a lot. Pay attention to the smell and environment. I'm being real here. If it smells off, there's a reason. You gotta check the energy of the place. Does it feel calm, chaotic, or cold? Trust that instinct because families will walk in and think, this is nice, it looks great, but something feels off and your instincts matter. There's still another hard part. That's the conversation. This is where things can get emotional because most of the time they don't want to go. And if you come in too strong, it turns into defensiveness, denial, and arguments. So instead of saying you need to move, try shifting it to I'm worried about your safety. I want you to have more support, and I can't do this alone anymore. Make the conversation about care, not control. And here's something important. This might not be one conversation. It may take multiple, and that's okay. But what if they refuse? Let's be real. Sometimes they will, and this is where families feel stuck because you're thinking, I know they're not okay, but they're saying no. So what do? You start with getting more support at home if possible, involving a doctor, and documenting your concerns because eventually safety outweighs preference. And I know that's hard to hear, but that's the truth. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Cost. This is where families panic, and a lot of people assume we can't afford this. But here's what you need to know. There are options like private pay, long-term care insurance, and programs like the assisted living waiver, which depends on eligibility. The key is don't assume. Ask. I've seen families delay decisions based on assumptions, and it ends up costing them more in the long run. This isn't just a logical decision, it's an emotional one. Even when you know it's the right decision, it doesn't feel good. You might feel guilt, doubt, or you might start second guessing yourself. You might think, did I do this too soon or did I wait too long? Here's what I want you to remember. There is no perfect timing. There is only doing your best with the information that you have and choosing safety over crisis. Keep in mind that a good decision doesn't mean that it was easy, everyone agreed, or it felt perfect. A good decision means your loved one is safer, you have support, and there's a plan in place. That's it. If you're in this phase now, I see you. This is one of the hardest decisions families have to make. But you're not alone. And the fact that you're trying to learn and do this the right way, that says everything. If this episode helped you, share it with someone who's in this now what phase, because a lot of families get stuck right there. Also, make sure you're following the Care Admin on Spotify. I'm going to keep breaking this down step by step so you don't get lost in the process. And if you came here from my last episode or from TikTok, welcome. We're going to keep having these real conversations. I'm Raya, the Care Admin. This is the Care Admin Podcast. As always, I'll see you in the next episode.